Hello, and welcome to Getting More Going Healing, a place where we talk about mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being to help you learn to let go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. My name is Tova, and I will be your host. So today, what I'd like to do is pick a card. So in order to do that, I'm going to use this new deck of cards, new to me, deck of cards that I just got as a gift from my friend Paula. And we're going to use the Archangel Animal Oracle cards to choose our piles. Okay, so we're going to choose 3 piles today. Okay, there's 1. Two. And 3. Thank you. All right. So, for pile number 1, we have the dog. For pile number 2, we have the sheep. And for pile number 3, we have the monkey. Okay, so if you're new to pick a cards, you choose whichever card seems to resonate the best with you. Check the description for the timestamp and jump to your reading. Whenever you are ready, I'll see you there. All right, if you chose pile number 1 and the dog card, this is your reading. All right, so this card says, be disciplined in your home and community life with Archangel Zariel. So because it's a new deck to me, we're going to look it up and we're going to read it and see what information comes to you from this card. All right. The guidebook says, about dogs. All canines, wolves, foxes, domestic hounds, and others originate from Sirius, where the gold ray of Christ is kept. They incarnate to bring this unconditional love energy to Earth and to pass this pure light to other animals and people. Dogs are mainly learning about various forms of family structure. The spiritual purpose of domestic dogs is to be companions to humans. They have surrendered the familiarity of their own kind to support us. They are giving and receiving love, while learning and teaching about discipline and loyalty. Foxes are learning the art of adaptability, whereas dingoes and wild dogs are developing independence, resourcefulness, courage, and a sense of adventure. All dogs are loyal to their families and selflessly protective. The guidance that comes with a dog card is when you receive this card, you are invited to look at the structure of your family life and your friendships, including those with work colleagues. Are you loyal to each other? Do you respect each other? Do you all relate to each other for the highest good? Are you disciplined or chaotic in your lifestyle? Your family reflects you. So, are you loyal to yourself? Do you respect yourself? Do you make choices for your highest good? You are reminded that spiritual discipline is the foundation for true happiness and joy. It is the keystone of ascension. The dog card wants you to know that when you consistently practice your spiritual techniques, you can be adaptable, courageous, and develop a sense of adventure and fun. Your entire life can be expanded based on your solid foundation as self-control confers safety. You can then walk forward in joy and bliss. Well, that's lovely. So for pile number 1, it looks like what you are looking for is, for what embodies you at this point, is being disciplined in your home and community life. How are you serving yourself? How are you serving your community? Where are you offering help to others towards the greater good? That's lovely. So let's see what messages come for you with that. All right, angels, guides, ancestors of pile number 1, our dog pile. Our dog pile. Where are we going to get our messages from today? Light Seers Tarot. Okay. All right, let's give them a shuffle. All right. What does our pile number 1 need to hear today? Okay. First card out is letting go of lack mindset. 5 of Pentacles in the reverse position. So the first card that you're getting is that you might have been in a position where you're focusing on all the negatives. You're focusing on everything that has gone wrong, everything that has not gone the way that you hoped for, all the things that you don't have. And you are being asked at this time to let go of that. Here's the thing, pile number 1. What we focus on is what we get more of, right? The phrase, where our attention goes, our energy flows. So if what you're doing is focusing on the negativity in your life, then honestly, that's all you're going to see, because that's what you're looking at, right? That's what's engaging your mind. That's what's engaging your focus. So the 5 of Pentacles, particularly in this deck, what we see here is she's sitting here in sadness, in misery, in despair. But if we look closer, we see how there's this lock here on the door, right? Over here, there's the key, right? There's the lock. There's the key. So when this is in the reverse position, it's saying that what you need to do is find your way out. Find the key that unlocks the door. And the key that unlocks the door is going to be where you put your attention. Stop putting your attention on the negative things. Stop putting your attention on the places where you have nothing or you feel that you have nothing. Because again, I want to remind you, we've talked about this before. If you've watched my channel for a while, we've talked about it before. But the thing is, when you focus on the negativity, that's what you're going to get. Right? That's what you're going to see. It's like if you're looking for a red car and you tell yourself, I want to see the red car, all of a sudden you're going to see red cars everywhere because that's what you're focusing on, right? You won't really notice the blue cars, the green cars, the yellow cars, the gray cars, because you're looking for the red car. So in the same token, when you are focusing on all the things that are going wrong in your life, you're going to find more things that go wrong. Versus when you're focusing on things to be grateful for, you'll notice more things to be grateful for. You'll change your entire mindset by letting go of your focus on all the things that you feel that you do not have. Okay? Bottom of the deck is 8 of Cups. Emotionally walking away from things that no longer serve you. Walking away from the emotions of lack. Walking away from the things that are actually making your life less happy because you're so focused on the things that make you unhappy. That is all you can see. Okay, let's see what else we have come up. What else from pile number 1? Oh, yeah. Page of Pentacles in the reverse position. So things aren't moving right now. And there's 2 pentacles. These are both pentacles. So these are things that are happening in your physical world. So there's nothing really growing. There's nothing moving. There's nothing getting going because the page is in reverse. So the page is when new things get going, the excitement, right? Pages are like young adults, teenagers, young adults, right? They are excited to get into the world. They are excited about what could happen. But this is in reverse, a lack of excitement for what's going on in your life. Probably because you're focused on all the things that you don't have. What else do we need to hear? Okay, the Star in reverse, feeling hopeless, and the 4 of Wands in reverse. Okay, a lot of reversals. Every card so far has been a reversal. There's the Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck in reverse. Okay, listen, pile number 1. You are in this deep, dark despair. If you have been following my channel and you know anything about spiritual awakenings, I think you might be in the dark night of your soul. Because the Star in reverse is about feeling hopeless. The Star is about having hope. The Star is about making a wish and waiting for it to come true, wishing and hoping and praying for something. But this is in reverse. It's feeling hopeless. It's feeling like there's no chance at something. And I feel like the thing that you feel like there's no chance at is this relationship, because the Four of Wands is in reverse. Four of Wands is about partnership and connection, right? We see this tent here in the background. We see these people celebrating. It's in reverse. And with the Page of Cups on the bottom of the deck in reverse, the Page of Cups, as we said, the pages are young. They look forward to life. They're excited to get into life. Page of Cups believes in love. Page of Cups believes that pigs can fly. Page of Cups believes that anything could happen. Love is entirely possible. But this is in reverse. Pile number one, what this is telling me is right now, you feel like you have nothing. And your world is reflecting the fact that you feel like you have nothing. And you feel like you are hopeless in a partnership, and you've stopped believing that love is possible. Okay, I want to know why. Let's clarify this a little bit. We're going to use the Osho Zen to clarify. All right, angels, guides, ancestors, I want to know what's going on here. Why are we feeling so utterly hopeless? Why are we feeling like there's just nothing available to us? What's going on? Oh, you're growing right now. Yes, so my initial estimate that this is the dark night of the soul is accurate. You are growing up right now. Okay, this card says maturity. Now, this is the Ace of Pentacles. So again, physical things coming to us. But this card is entitled maturity. Okay. And when I asked what's going on, the card that came out is maturity. So you're growing up right now. And it's not meant to be derogatory. That's not meant to be insulting. That's not meant to do anything other than letting you know that you are in a stage of growth right now. Maturing. Growing into a more mature version of yourself, which requires you to let go of everything that happened to you in the past so that you can move forward. So right now, I think the focus, everything, all the pain that you were experiencing, because this, make no mistake, the Star in reverse, feeling hopeless, the lack, the not believing in love, this is emotional pain, right? You are growing through something right now, and I do believe this is the dark night of the soul for you. And having gone through the dark night of the soul, I can tell you, it does feel hopeless. It does feel very dark, and it feels like it's going to go on forever. But I'm here to remind you that everything is temporary. Nothing lasts forever, the good or the bad. Nothing lasts forever. Everything is always in change. Okay? Tell me more about what's going on here. What did I say? Change. Everything's in change, right? That's the Wheel of Fortune. And in this card, it's entitled Change. So yes, you are in the middle of an awakening right now. You are in the midst of the dark night of the soul. Okay. This is an uncomfortable place to be, but you are being asked by the universe to trust. There's the Page of Cups again, but this time it's upright. And in this deck, they call it trust. You are being asked to trust that you will find your way out of this. You're being asked to trust that the universe will give you the guidance that you need to help you out of this. Okay? Let's look some more into this. What else does pile number one need to know? Okay, King of Wands upright. 5 of Cups in the reverse position. The Lovers upright. Okay. With 2 of Swords on the bottom of the deck in reverse. All right. So here's what else you need to know. Somebody is moving into the position of being a king. The King of Wands. The King of Wands is a lot of intense energy. The King of Wands is the master of his energy. Okay. Someone is moving into being the master of their energy. Strong, courageous, dependable. They are letting go of the disappointments of the past. 5 of Cups is, if we look at the card, what we see is there are cups that are spilled. 1, 2, 3 cups that are spilled one that is spilling and one that is still full. This person is looking towards the cups that have spilled, right? They're very focused on what has already transpired. The emotional cups are emotions, so the emotional pain that has already caused those cups to be emptied. But this came in the reverse position. Someone is letting go of the disappointments that happened to them in the past. Someone is letting go, making the choice, because Two of Swords in reverse. Two of Swords is about being indecisive, not knowing what choice to make, but it's in reverse, making a choice. This King of Wands is making a choice to let go of whatever happened in the past, whatever disappointments happened in the past within this relationship. And it's interesting that we got the Four of Wands, which is partnership, marriage, connection. And then we got the Lovers. Four of Wands in the first row was in reverse. In the second row, Lovers is upright. Connection, reconnection, reuniting. Okay. So for whoever this is, for this pile number 1, for whoever this is, okay, this King of Wands, whoever this King of Wands is beginning to let go of whatever happened before. The pain, the disappointment that happened in the past, they're letting it go because they want to choose the relationship. They want to choose the love, okay? Can we clarify anything about this row? Yeah, there's the Knight of Pentacles. In this deck, it's adventure. They want an adventure. They want to see where this can take them. They want to see where this could go. They want to take this new adventure and see what happens with it. Trust is still on the bottom of the deck. Okay? Trusting in the universe, trusting that whatever it is that they're going to do will take them where they need to go, will take them on this adventure. Okay? This is beautiful. Okay? Anything else for our pile number 1s? Yeah. Seven of Pentacles is getting impatient. Okay. Seven of Pentacles is about planting your seeds and waiting for things to grow. Waiting for something to show up. And when it's in the reverse position, it's getting impatient because nothing has broken the surface yet. It's not showing up in the 3D world yet. It hasn't arrived yet. Okay. What else? Ten of Swords in the upright position. Okay. It hasn't arrived yet, but it will. Ten of Swords is the ending of a thought cycle, the ending of feeling betrayed. Now, normally with Ten of Swords upright, it's that you've come to an end where it's going to be pain before it's moving on. But the way that it's depicted in this deck, you see she's walking away. She's turned her back and she's walking away. So it hasn't shown up yet, but there is a process right now where somebody, I think it's this King of Wands, somebody is in the process of walking away from the mental strife that they had in the past, the things that mess with them. Yeah, they're making a choice with Judgment in the upright position on the bottom of the deck. They're making a choice. They're listening to their higher self. And I say that because on this card, what we see is this person, and then we see like this spirit above them, right? To me, that says higher self. They're listening to their higher self. And they're choosing to walk away from what no longer serves them, the mental patterns that no longer serve them. Okay? Let's clarify that, please. Clarify? Yeah, there's a lot of clarification here. There's a lot. Okay, let's break it down. Yeah, okay, so the first clarification is Four of Cups. In this deck, it's called Turning In. So looking inward. So what did I say? Right? They're walking away from the emotional patterns that no longer serve them. They're spending time in introspection and learning to let go of listening to the voices, the negative voices. So on this card, we see she's turning in, she's meditating, right? But around her, look at the faces. Look at the faces of the people around her, right? They look spooky, they look scary, they look negative, right? But look at her face. She looks calm and peaceful and serene, right? So what that tells me is whoever's leaving behind these mental burdens, okay, whoever's walking away from this, they're spending time going inward to seeing the truth of what's really happening, to trust their own inner knowing, as we said with judgment, their own higher self. Now, we also got another stack, so let's read it. Ace of Swords with consciousness in the reverse position, conditioning in the upright position, which is the devil, 3 of Cups in the reverse position, which is celebration. There's patience again. There's the 7 of Pentacles in reverse twice. Getting impatient. There it is a second time. Okay. The World, which is completion in reverse, and ordinariness in reverse. Again, a lot of reversals in this reading. A lot of reversals. So this whole row, what this says is there has been a lack of clarity. There has been a lack of consciousness. Someone was acting out of their unconscious state and their conditioning. Okay. With consciousness, this is being able to trust in source, trust in yourself, in your own inner knowing, your own inner awareness, right? Somebody was not trusting in their conscious self. They were listening to their unconscious self, their shadows. And that's what it says with this too, okay? The Devil is a card I normally consider your shadow side. The sides of yourself that you push away, that you hide because you don't want anyone to know about them, okay? In this card, they call it conditioning. And the story of this card is the lion who wears the sheep's skin and pretends to be a sheep and doesn't understand why they don't fit in being a sheep, only to eventually realize they were never a sheep in the first place. They were actually a lion. When the lion steps into their power as being a lion and stops trying to be what they are not and starts being what they are, they find their strength and their power, right? So this card talks about letting go of who you were told you were supposed to be, the conditioning that you were given, the programming you were given, and that you thought that you had to meet, but finding out you don't. Okay? 3 of Cups is about celebration. This is in reverse. Feeling like there's nothing to celebrate. Feeling like everything is a burden, right? So again, we see Ace of Swords, consciousness, unconsciousness, and conditioning. So for whoever this is meant for, somebody was in an unconscious state and following the programming that was given to them, which left them in a state of feeling like there's nothing for them to celebrate. Right now, they're getting impatient. They want things to happen in the physical world, but these cycles aren't over yet. With completion in the reverse position, these cycles are not over yet because they haven't put in the work. 8 of Pentacles is putting in the work in the physical world, putting in the effort in order to get the things that you want, putting in the actual physical effort towards what you want to have happen, right? So if we read these cards in order, okay, if we read this whole message as it's laid out, somebody was stuck in their unconscious mind and their conditioning, which left them feeling like there was nothing worth celebrating in life. They're getting impatient because they want the cycle to end, but the cycle is not over yet because they haven't done the work. You can't get out of the cycle until you do the work. If you are stuck in unconscious programming, if you are stuck in conditioning, which is the first 2 cards, if you are stuck in unconscious programming and conditioning, the only way to complete that cycle is to do the work to complete the cycle. How do you do the work? There's lots of ways to do it out there. One of my favorite resources is How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LaPera. I've mentioned her book before on my podcast, and I've mentioned it in readings before as well. Excellent book. In How to Do the Work, she goes through and she explains the unconscious conditioning. She explains the trauma that we keep from our childhood, the programming that we were programmed with in our childhood, and how that's no longer serving us anymore, and how to let go of that programming. So if you are still looking for a way to undo the unconscious programming, to let go of your conditioning, to complete this cycle so you can get out of this cycle, I do strongly recommend her book. Okay, I do think that it would be a good resource for you. Yeah, on the bottom of the deck is awareness. Okay, becoming aware of your own bullshit is the phrase I just heard. You cannot get out of this cycle if you are still believing your own bullshit. Okay, that is the be all and end all of it. If you are still believing your own bullshit, if you are still believing what did we see? Where was it? The turning in, right? With all these voices in her head outside of her, right? If you are still believing the bullshit of the voices inside your head, your ego mind, right? Then you are not going to be able to get out of this. If you still listen to the negative voices inside your head, the ones that tell you that you are unlovable, unworthy, undesirable, all the ones that tell you, some of you might have a voice that tells you you're a piece of shit. I have met people who have that voice inside their head that tells them that they are a piece of shit. If that is the voice that you listen to, that is exactly the reality you're going to get. And it's going to reflect that back to you. So if you want to get out of that, you have to do the work. 8 of Pentacles, do the work. And the work is looking at, what did we say? Awareness. Becoming aware of what you're telling yourself, becoming aware of the stories that you tell yourself, and then legitimately asking yourself, are these stories true? Are they the stories that I'm repeating, or are they true? And if they are true, do I have evidence more than a few stories and a few emotions that I'm having? Is there more to it? Is there evidence that backs this up to be true? Because if you're just relying on your emotions, I'm sorry to tell you, your emotions lie to you. Because your emotions are based on often experiences of things that happened in your past and the fear of that repeating. So your ego is trying to protect you. It says, whoa, 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 I remember this. Last time this happened, I got hurt. So I'm going to protect you from getting hurt by reminding you of how the last time it went, so that you don't repeat the same cycle. The trouble is your ego doesn't recognize that you are not the ego. You are the higher self. In, what is the name of the book? The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. He calls it being in the seat of self. Okay. When you are able to be in the Buddhists call it the unconscious observer. Or the conscious observer, when you are able to step back and look at the play of thoughts that are happening without being in the thoughts. Look at the thoughts as they travel in and out. Look at the pattern of thoughts as they travel in and out without engaging the thought. Yes, I realize this sounds very complicated. It's not as complicated as it sounds. If you begin a practice of mindfulness, where you are able to watch the interplay of your thoughts, watch what thoughts come up without identifying with them, without personalizing them. Watch the thoughts that arise. That's what we see here in this card, right? If you are able to sit in meditation, as she is on this card, and see the thoughts as they rise, and then watch them go, you begin to understand that you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions. You are experiencing a thought and you are experiencing an emotion, but you are the one who observes it occurring. That's what the casual observer means. You observe the thought happening. You observe the emotion happening without identifying with it. So if you are in this space of unconsciousness and conditioning, as we see with the first 2 cards here, if you are in the 5 of Pentacles in a space of lack, if you are in this space where you are feeling hopeless, as we saw in our very first row, if you are in this place and you indulge in that, and you continue telling yourself the story about how you have lack, how you have nothing, how it is hopeless, how there is nothing that can be done, how you are just a victim of your circumstances, then guess what? You stay a victim of your circumstances. It is called victim mindset. By being in a space where you tell yourself that you are a victim, you keep yourself in a position of powerlessness. That there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to overcome it. There's nothing you can do to change it. You're just stuck here. And we did not see the Eight of Swords on the board, but that is the entire energy of Eight of Swords, keeping yourself stuck in a mental prison that if you took off the blindfold, you could see there's an easy way out. But you're telling yourself that you're stuck, so you continue to believe that you are stuck and you stay stuck. If you can get beyond that into seeing the thoughts, without engaging the thoughts, without believing the thoughts, you can begin to recognize that they are simply just thoughts. Okay, pile number 1. So if you need help with that, I highly recommend the app Headspace. It's not sponsored. I am not sponsored through Headspace. I just happen to be someone who's been using this app for several years. And I find that the meditations, it's created by a former monk who left his practice as a monk and now lives in the regular world with everybody else. But he wanted to bring mindfulness and meditation to the masses in a way that felt less exclusive, in a way that like you don't have to go to an ashram to learn to meditate, that you can use this app. And they have apps that they have meditations that are as short as 1 minute and they go up to an hour if you really want to. There are specific sets for anxiety, for mindfulness, for self-acceptance, for all kinds of things. Like, it is a very extensive app. It also has a section for children to teach children how to engage mindfulness and meditation. I highly, 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 highly recommend this app. I use it all the time. If you're looking to build a mindfulness practice to where you are no longer caught up in the thoughts and the cycles of your thinking and your emotions, I strongly recommend it. So pile number 1, I hope this gave you some clarity and some understanding about where you are right now. Remember that what we saw through all of this, walking away from the mental burdens, right? Going inward, having new adventure. Right now, things are in flux, but we saw here change, did we not? We saw here maturing, growing up and maturing, again, not as an insult, just as a recognition that you are developing your skills from where they were more of a novice skill to a little greater towards an intermediary or an expert skill, okay? Things are changing with the Wheel of Fortune. This is changing for you. But we saw with the Eight of Pentacles, you have to put in the work. Nothing changes if you stay where you are. If you keep telling yourself the stories you're telling yourself, nothing changes. It is within your power to change your life. But it comes with changing how you think about your life, how you change your mindset. Your mindset is everything. A growth mindset will actually move you forward. You don't know how to do it yet. Just because you don't know how to do it now doesn't mean you will never know how to do it. It just means right now you don't know how to do it yet. So if you don't know how to do it, learn. Begin the process. If you don't take the step in that direction, you'll never get there. If you don't take the first step on that journey, the destination will always be really far away from you. Begin taking the first steps and then take the next right step in front of that. And then the next right step in front of that. And the next right step in front of that. And sooner or later, you're going to look back and realize, holy crap, I've gone really far. I didn't even realize I went that far because you're just focusing on the next right step in front of you. So begin the journey. If you haven't begun the journey, begin the journey. You'll never get to the end of the journey if you don't begin the journey. Okay, pile number 1, I hope this gave you clarity. If you were looking for a personal reading, you can send me an email that will be in the description box. If you found this reading helpful and you'd like to give a donation or a tip, that information is in the description box as well. And if you are on this journey, I have been on this journey. If you need some help, I have a podcast called Get In, We're Going Healing, same name as this channel. I give guidance. If you go back to season 1, when I first started my spiritual awakening and all the lessons that I first encountered, you'll find that all in the very first season. And then I continue to share information as I learn it on my journey to share with you. But if you're at the beginning of your journey, go back to season 1 and you'll see all the stuff that I learned as I walked through my journey, as it happened for me. You might find some good information in there. Okay. I also have an Instagram where I share inspiring content along this journey that might give you some tips and tricks that you need. All right. So until next time, keep letting go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. Love and light. Bye. If you chose pile number 2 with the sheep, this is your reading. So the sheep says, act with fortitude and cooperation. Archangels Gabriel and Hope. So as I said in the beginning, this is a new deck to me. So we're going to read from the guidebook as to what each of these animals mean. And so we're going to look up what sheep means. Okay? All right, the guidebook says, act with fortitude and cooperation. About sheep. Sheep with their loving, innocent hearts came from the Pleiades to offer wool and share their milk and their joy. They enter through Archangel Gabriel's high-frequency portal on Mount Shasta. Like all creatures from the star cluster, they carry the symbol of the 33-petaled blue rose in their auras. So they and their products carry healing energy and Christ light. Through sheep, Archangel Hope touches people with optimism and helps them to keep their spirits high so that they can aspire to achieve their full potential. It is this noble service that enables these gentle animals to bear their current conditions on earth with fortitude. Sheep choose to live in flocks because they know that when they act together, they can do their service work of spreading healing to pastures and people more effectively. They work symbolically for the highest good. The sheep brings the guidance of your guidance today is to cooperate with others. Realize that together you can accomplish greater things than if you work alone. Your aspirations can more easily be fulfilled if you act from the heart and the right brain, which is your creative brain. So open your heart today and listen to your inner wisdom. Visualize your goals being reached with love, happiness, and joy. Whether it is acting in harmony with your family or friends, or working as a team with your colleagues, the outcome will be satisfying for you all. Be kind, calm, and centered. It is through sacrificing self and personal ambition that everyone will win and a flame of hope will ignite within you. So pile number 2, you are already being called to work with others, okay? To cooperate with others. So let's see what comes out for your reading. Angels, guides, ancestors of pile number 2. What do we need to hear today? All right. I'm being called to the Work Your Light Oracle. So let's see what comes up with the Work Your Light Oracle. All right, what do we need to hear today? Okay, first card out is Align Your Life and Soul Family. So Align Your Life says, what is not aligned and needs to change? And Soul Family is call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Isn't that interesting that we come up with that in the first card being that it's sheep about working with other people, working in cooperation with other people towards a greater good. And you're being asked to call in your soul family. You don't have to do all this by yourself. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you don't have to do this by yourself. Your soul family can come and help guide you, can support you as you move through this. And you're being asked to have a look at your life and find out what is not in alignment, what is not part of the life that you want to live. What are you holding on to that's part of your former life, that's not part of the life that you want to walk into? Remember that when we walk into our new life, you can't take your old life with you. Think about when you die, right? Think about the old adage, you can't take it with you, right? When your physical vessel stops existing, stops functioning, your light body, your consciousness, the thing that makes you you continues on, right? It moves on to just being something else. Think about Pixar, Disney's Soul, right? If you're not familiar with it, dude, check it out. Great, great movie. The people that wrote that, they know, applause to them. They know exactly what they're talking about when it comes to understanding consciousness, understanding that you are not your physical vessel. You are the thing that lives inside your physical vessel, right? So if what you're doing, when you no longer live, you can't take the other stuff with you, right? So just like in that same way, when you are moving on to a new version of yourself, a new life, you are going through a death and rebirth, right? In the rebirth, you can't take the part of the life that just died with you. If that means that you are carrying resentments, angers, frustrations from a former existence of yours, you cannot take it into the new life. If what you're looking for is a life of abundance, you can't take the lack with you. How are you going to attract the abundance if you're focused on the lack, right? Let's clarify that a little bit. We're going to clarify with Osho Zen. Oh, 2 cards got left behind. What are these? Maturity and change were left behind. Interesting. Those are part of the last deck. And this didn't belong in here either. This is part of the last reading as well with lovers. So I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that everything happens the way it's meant to happen. So I'm going to leave those out. I feel like those are relevant. So I'm going to leave them out. We're going to delve into them a little bit more after we clarify these 2 cards. Oh, and those ones fell out too. Again, don't believe in coincidences. So here's already the message. Okay. All right. So we have moment to moment in the reverse position. We have postponement, which is the 4 of Swords in the reverse position. And we have the 6 of Wands upright with success. Okay. So those 3 messages say that you're not taking things, you're not being present in your life. With moment to moment in reverse, 2 of Pentacles in this deck, calling it moment to moment, talks about being present and being able to float between your different existences, right? Taking things one moment at a time, one step at a time, one movement at a time, okay? When it's in reverse, it's talking about you're trapped in either the past or the future. You're either too focused on what's going to happen, which is interesting because the future is always in flux. You can make a change at any point and change the future. If you make a different direction, let's say you turn left instead of right, that changes everything. That had you taken the turn to make right, had you taken the right-hand turn, the future would have been consistent on what happens when you turn right. But when you chose to turn left, that changed the future. The future is always in flux. So if you're focused too far ahead on the future, it's hard for you because it's hard to make choices now based on what's happening now if you're too focused on what's going to happen in the future. And the same goes for the past. If you're too focused on what's happened to you in the past, it's hard to make a choice in the current time, in the present time, because you're focused on what happened in the past and how that might repeat itself or how to avoid that happening. And all of those things are based on looking behind you. If you're taking things moment to moment, you're taking things at what presents itself in front of you at each moment, and then deciding what you're going to do as each thing presents itself. Do I make this choice? Do I make that choice? Do I do this thing? Do I do that thing? But not based on the past or not based on the future, based on now. So then we have that with the postponement in the reverse position, making a choice now, not waiting. Making a choice now. So letting go of focus on the future or the past, making your choice based on the now is what will bring you to success with the 6 of Wands. Okay? I'm going to put that here because I still want to clarify here. Can we clarify align your life and soul family, please? Yeah. 7 of Swords. Letting go of the politics. Okay, in this deck, it calls it politics. And what we see depicted on the card is this person who looks like they are not a nice person, and they have a mask in front of them that shows that they are actually kind and sweet, but the face underneath the mask is not so kind and sweet. And we see this snake here, okay? And what this card actually talks about is you are neither of these people. You are neither the mask of friendliness that you put on, nor the face underneath it that looks unfriendly. You are actually, as we said, the conscious being inside that. Both of these images are a mask. Both of them are a lie. The 7 of Swords talks about deception and lies. Okay? And it came in reverse. So it's seeing the truth. Because lies in reverse, the opposite of lies would be truth. So when we're asking for clarification on what do you need to change? What is not aligned with you? And calling in your soul family, it's seeing the truth of the things that you've been telling yourself, because swords are thoughts, right? Seeing the truth of the lies that you were previously telling yourself. That's what's not aligned with your life. The lies that you used to tell, the lies that you believed, right? And again, I want to remind you that we saw taking things moment to moment, making the decision in the now is what will help you succeed. So letting go of the lies you used to believe so that you can move forward. And again, remember, I don't believe in coincidences. So these cards came out with maturing, change, and the Lovers. So within this, one of the things that you are seeing the truth of is where you were immature. And you growing up, you maturing, is what actually changes the relationship. Right? It's the Lovers card. And the Wheel of Fortune. So you growing up and maturing is what changes the relationship. Okay? What else does the collective for our pile number 2 need to hear today? Isn't that interesting? The Emperor in the upright position and the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position. Now, the Emperor with the King of Pentacles in the reverse position on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about it. The Emperor is the Emperor, right? He runs everything. He is the guy who runs the entire empire. Now, one of the things that emperors forget, okay, to me, the Emperor is in the divine masculine energy. That is the full embodiment of being the divine masculine, being fully and strongly in your power, recognizing that you are the leader, but recognizing that as the leader, you are responsible for everyone in your empire. It cannot just be, you cannot be Emperor Palpatine, for all my Star Wars fans, okay? Look what happened when Emperor Palpatine ran the galaxy. He ruined it. He treated everybody like crap. He based it on his own politics and not on taking care of the people. That's not a good emperor. A good emperor recognizes that he is responsible for the people in his empire, making sure that they are clothed, fed, taken care of, their needs are met. If something is broken, he makes sure that he sends the people to fix it. The emperor takes care of his people. So we're getting the Emperor, but I also want to bring your attention to the bottom of this card here. Look at the chains around the Emperor's feet. Okay? They're broken, aren't they? The breaker of chains. And to me, this card always says breaking generational chains. The links that are passed down from parent to child, from parent to child, from parent to child for generations until someone says, not me. It stops with me. I will not pass this down to my child and pass one more generation down. It stops with me. I am the breaker of the chain. I will not move this chain one more link down. It stops now. So you might be a generational curse breaker. You might be someone who says, I will not do to my child what my parents did to me. I will not pass this down and put my child through exactly what I experienced, so that the burden will fall on them to decide if they want to break the chain or pass it down to their children. Essentially, when you break generational curses, particularly when it comes to parenting, you are actually doing it for your grandchildren. Yes, you're doing it for your child, but you're doing it for your grandchild. Because when you change it for your child will not grow up with what you grew up with. So your child, when they raise their children, will raise them with what you teach them. And if you teach them love and compassion and acceptance, when you teach them that mistakes happen and can be rectified and do not require punishment for a mistake, then what you teach them is to teach your grandchildren that. So when your grandchildren mess up, when your children become adults and have children and your grandchildren make a mistake, they will know that their mistake can be rectified and they will not be harmed for the mistake that they choose. That is the energy and embodiment of an emperor. Okay? Now, this comes with the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position. Now, the Queen of Pentacles in the upright position throws her seeds everywhere. She doesn't care where they take root. She just throws them. And they'll take root wherever they take root. She's not concerned about what grows where and how. She just throws them everywhere and sees where they take up. She is balanced, right? We see that in the black and white balance in her hair. We see that in the moon behind her. We see that in her connection to the water below her while she sits on the lily. We see that in the rainbows that she wears, which is all the balance in the chakra. This is in reverse, though. Being cautious about where you put your time and energy. And we see that reflected as well in the King of Pentacles. The King and Queen would be counterparts, and they're both in the reverse position, unbalanced. When we see it as abundance in the reverse position, we see lack. We see not having the physical things that you need. So this message is saying that if you want to run your empire well, if you want to be the leader, then you can't just be cautious where you put your pentacles, where you put your time and energy, and be overly cautious, because that leads to lack, right? That leads to lack. Anything else? Yeah, there's the conditioning. I was expecting that. And integration, which is temperance on the bottom of the deck. Okay. So yes. All right. So in order to be the breaker of chains, in order to be the emperor, you have to release the conditioning. Okay. You have to integrate your parts. Now, if you've been following my podcast at all, or if you're not familiar with this channel, we talk a lot about parts work. We talk a lot about the previous versions of yourself, who you are no longer, but who still are part of who you are. This would be the various aspects of your inner child. This would be your inner teen. This would be your inner 20-something. This would be every single time that you experience some version of pain and held that close to you. Those parts of you are still within you. They're still part of you, even though you might be a grown-ass adult. They are still within you. And if those children, those younger versions of you, were not treated well, their pain and agony is still held within you. Okay? In order to heal, you need to integrate those parts. What does that mean? Integrating those parts means welcoming into being part of you so that they are all part of you and you become the whole rather than the fractured parts. So rather than being the adult version of yourself now with an inner child and an inner teen and an inner 20-something and an inner whatever, all those different aspects, instead of them being fractured and separated from you, they all become one. They all become integrated into one being, one version of you, and you become the whole self with all of the other parts, all as aspects of yourself, but all seen, heard, welcomed, validated. When all these other versions of you recognize that you are actually the greatest, highest version of you, and they all join you. Not get in line, but join you as a team, as a partnership. So your inner child helps you find fun and joy and the wonder of being a child, rather than being told that they are childish and push them away. Your inner teen, who was rebellious and angry and pushed back against the rules because they wanted freedom, allows you to have that freedom without the anger and the resentment and the hurt that might have been carried with the negative aspects of teenage adolescence. When all of these parts know that they are seen and validated and welcomed, they all integrate into being the greater self of whole. Okay? If this is something that you actually want to pursue, I strongly recommend looking into parts work, shadow work, and if you're looking for a type of therapy, I strongly suggest intra-family systems, IFS. There are excellent resources on YouTube as well as Instagram. I'm not on TikTok, but I guarantee you there are people on TikTok who can help you with that as well, who give really great information on how to do parts work, how to integrate all of the previous aspects of yourself into one greater self. Okay? But what we're seeing here is letting go of the conditioning of who you were told you were supposed to be. So that would be what society told you, your parents told you, everyone else told you you're supposed to be. And then you just decided that that's what you were supposed to do. I know I was in that point before. I used to believe that society said what you need to do is get married, have a baby, get the house, get the cars, all those things. And that's what makes you a successful adult. But none of that is true. Just by the nature of getting married does not mean that you have checked off a box in the I'm an adult now category. I know because I did that and it did not work. We are conditioned in society to believe that there are certain things that we must achieve in order to be adults. But that's just not true. Because your journey of who you are and where you're going to go is not like anyone else's journey. It's your soul's journey on what your soul is meant to do here on this planet during this lifetime, what you are supposed to achieve during this time you have on this planet. And I'm sorry to say, it's not whatever your culture and society has told you that it is. That's the politics, right? That we saw in the Seven of Swords. That's the politics. That's what someone else, okay, I did a podcast episode today I released where I talked about I watched the Hunger Games over the weekend. And it's making me think of that with what the Capitol told the different districts what they were supposed to be and who they were supposed to be until revolution happened, until Katniss wrecked it all and messed it up and made people think and made people question because she was morally good. She took action from what she felt was the correct standpoint, regardless of what the Capitol told her, regardless of what districts told her, regardless of what President Snow said was the expected thing. She made choices based on what was morally and ethically right to her. That is the path. That is the soul's path. That is the soul's path to enlightenment, is making choices that are in alignment with your highest and greatest good, and the highest and greatest good of all. So that requires you to let go of trying to be the lion that wears the sheepskin, who pretends to be the sheep and pretends to be the lamb when they were never the lamb. They might put on the lamb's clothing. They might pretend that they are. They might try to bleat like a lamb, but they are not. They are a lion underneath it all. And only when the lion recognizes that he is a lion and stops trying to be a sheep does he step into his power. When the lion finally accepts, I am never a sheep and I am never going to be a sheep, I need to be a lion because that is what I am. Then the lion steps into his natural power. Just like the emperor steps into his natural power when the emperor stops trying to be a page or a knight or a king and recognizes that he is in fact the emperor and stands in his power as a leader and leads rather than demands. A good leader does not demand. A good leader leads. It's like that idea of a leader on a battlefield. If the leader, think Braveheart, that you're at the front of the line and you lead your troops into battle. You don't hang back and watch your troops sacrifice themselves for you. You lead the charge. You show them how it's done. You lead your people where your people need to go. You show them the path. That is what it is to be a leader. And you cannot be a leader if you are still living under your conditioning. You cannot step into your power if you are still living under your conditioning. in order to step fully into your full true self, to integrate your full true self, you have to let go of trying to be what you think you are supposed to be so you can be what you are. Okay? Okay. We're going to get one final message, pile number 2. Okay? I feel like we're going to get it from the angel oracles. Okay? What does pile number 2 need to hear? Thank you. Yeah, what did we just talk about with the warrior, right? You got peaceful warrior with Archangel Ariel. Thank you, Ariel, for helping me stand my ground with peace. A warrior does not have to fight. A peaceful warrior, there's a quote in a song that I listen to that says, the peaceful warrior knows that the war has already been fought within. A peaceful warrior does not have to fight with weapons or words or aggression. The peaceful warrior knows how to communicate. The peaceful warrior knows how to connect with others. If this is something that you want to learn, I strongly also recommend the book, Crucial Conversations. Crucial Conversations. It is a book that teaches how to communicate with others, how to find common ground to further communication. This is within relationships. This is within work situations. They give examples of unions coming together and trying to meet at the bargaining table and how to do that. And it is just like how to do the work. It talks about how to get beyond your own internal programming and your own stories, your ego stories that you tell yourself, to actually find common ground and work towards a common goal. Okay. So if you're looking to develop your skills as a peaceful warrior, know that in order to be a peaceful warrior, you have to have the battle within. You have to have the battle within and look at the lies you tell yourself, look at the conditioning that you carry so that you can break those chains, right? That is how you will create change. And when you do that from the inside, we say it in this channel all the time, as within, so without. When you find the peace within, you will find your outside world reflects what's happening on your inside world. If your inside world is full of turmoil, your outside world will reflect that. If your inside world is full of peace and calm, your outside world will reflect that. As within, so without. So pile number 2. It sounds like you have some work to do. It sounds like you have some growing to do. But it also sounds like you are finding yourself in alignment. Remember the first card we began with, okay? Cooperation was our first card, right? So remember to call in your soul tribe. Find the people that resonate with your soul, and they will help guide you where you need to go. All right. If you need more for your individual readings, I do personal readings. If you need a personal reading, you can find my email in the description box. Send me an email. We'll set up a personal reading. Okay. If you are looking for more guidance on this healing path, check out my podcast. I have been on this healing path for quite some time now. I have shared what I learned as I learned it. Some information in there might help you. If you're at the beginning of this path of growth and healing, go back to the early season. Go back to season 1. Where these things, as I first encountered them, came out. The stuff that I put out more recently is a little more high vibrational, a little more intense, a little deeper. You can still check them out, but you might find more help in the early seasons. And I also have an Instagram where I share constant information about inspiring things along this healing path, just to help keep you moving. So I hope that this helped you. I hope that you got some guidance and wisdom off of this. And I hope that you will keep moving forward. So until next time, keep letting go of things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. Love and light. Bye. If you chose pile number 3 in the monkey, this is your reading. So the monkey card says, experience all that life has to offer. Archangel Raphael. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning, these are new cards to me, so I'm going to read from the guidebook because these are new cards. Okay? All right, the monkey. Experience all that life has to offer. About monkeys. All types of monkeys originate from the 10th dimension universe of Sekna and step down through the Pleiades. Their chatter calls in the ancient sonic or in the angel sonics that heal the creatures around them and help trees to grow. Monkeys also use these sonics to share news and information from the angels and elements with animals, birds, trees, and humans. As heart-centered beings, monkeys incarnate to experience with the right brain and follow their instincts. They are learning about qualities such as unconditional love, loyalty, togetherness, and trust. Their focus is on family life, enjoyment, developing the senses, food, and connecting with the trees. They are not here to develop human intellectual capacity or logical ability, but are extremely evolved spiritually and truly experience oneness. Their guidance is to focus on developing your right brain and your heart, as this is the route to ascension and oneness. Take time to relax, have fun, and just be. Enjoy your senses. Love your food, smell the flowers, see beauty everywhere, touch your loved ones, and listen with loving expectation. Attune to the wonder of nature. Bring your family or community together. In this way, you really connect with and understand oneness. It is important to be aware of your voice when you talk or sing. When it is warm and harmonious, the angels can use it to create sonics that purify you and light you up. You will radiate a pool of healing around you, and this is not only helpful to others, but attracts good into your life. Be carefree and joyous. Well, that's lovely, pile number 3. So it looks like you are being asked to celebrate life a little bit more and to see what can come, what kind of joys can come to you in life. All right, so let's get some messages. Angels, guides, ancestors, what do we need to hear today? All right, we are being directed to the Energy Oracle. Let's see what information comes out for you from the Energy Oracle. I see the Sun and unconditional love coming up. We already saw that monkeys embody unconditional love. Let's see what else we need to hear. Okay. Storm warning in the reverse position. The storms have already happened. Okay. We are now in, this is like the tower. This is, the storm has come and gone. The darkness has come and gone. And it's time to take stock of what was damaged during the storm. What branches came down, what fences might have come down, what fences need mending. What do we need to repair after the storm is completed? Okay. What else do we need to hear? Okay. Door to personal healing and happiness in the reverse position. Okay. So the storm has come and gone, but the door to your personal healing and happiness is closed. Let's find out why. Okay. We're going to use the Light Seers Tarot to clarify. Why is the door to personal healing and happiness in reverse? Why is it closed? Oh. 6 of Swords in the upright position. The door is closed because you need to walk away from mental burdens that are not yours. 7 of Swords. 6 of Swords and 7 of Swords. Progression. Okay? You need to walk away from the mental burdens that do not belong to you and see the lies. Because there are lies that you are believing that we were told, that somebody else told you. That's the 6 of Swords. Right? Look at the image. She's on this boat and this boat is weighed down by bags. Right? This is baggage, but the 6 of Swords talks about that's not her baggage. That was baggage someone else gave to her and she put in her boat. Right? So what is weighing you down? What thoughts, because swords are our thoughts, what thoughts are weighing you down and keeping you trapped? Because with 7 of Swords, the 7 of Swords is about lies. The lies we tell ourselves. So there are lies that you are telling yourself that you are still carrying that is keeping you from healing. Okay, what else do we need to hear? The thinking man upright. So this already tells me this is a masculine energy with all tied up in the bottom of the deck. Okay, this is a masculine energy who is very focused on thought. This is an energy of somebody who is very mental, very how do I want to put logical? Yes, logical and rational is how I want to phrase that. So the thinking man is all about logic, rationale, how you can think, the conscious mind, not the unconscious mind, the conscious mind, the thinking mind. Now, I saw a fact recently that was about different things. That was I believe it was I was reading The Body Keeps Score, and they were talking about how there were MRIs done, understanding how the brain functions. And the conscious mind is only a very small portion of the entirety of the brain. When we understand the different hemispheres of the brain, the different sections, the limbic system, the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex, all the different sections of the brain and what they do, the rational thinking mind is only a very small portion of the entire of the brain. Very small. The majority of the work that happens within the brain is unconscious. The majority of the thinking that happens within the brain comes from the memory system or from the fight or flight reactivity, our reptilian brain. Much of what happens within our brain does not come from the rational thinking mind. So when we are only focused on the rational thinking mind, we are missing a great amount of what the brain is capable of doing and what the brain is capable of seeing and understanding. Let's clarify the thinking man. Okay. All right. So the thinking man is clarified by Knight of Pentacles, things moving very slowly in the physical world. The Knight of Pentacles takes his freaking time. Okay. Takes his time. See how he's walking barefoot in the field? He's got all the time in the world. He is not in any rush. And pentacles are the things that happen in our physical world. Okay. So this is slow because this is the thinking man and he's thinking very rationally about things. It takes him a long time to make things happen because he spends a lot of time in his head. Okay. The thing about spending too much time in your head is that you don't make anything happen. If you're overthinking, if you're thinking all the time, when are you taking action? When are you making things happen in the physical world? Okay, are you? Or are you just thinking about it? Are you thinking about the life that you want to live, or are you taking steps towards the life that you want to live? Are you thinking about the job that you want to have, or are you taking steps towards the job you want to have? Are you thinking about having a healthier relationship, or are you actually taking steps towards having a healthy relationship? There is a difference between just thinking about what you want and then taking action towards what you want. On the bottom of the deck, we have all tied up. So this tells me that whoever this thinking man is, this person, the fact that they're spending so much time thinking, it is what's stopping them from making a decision. All tied up means you are trapped, you are stuck, you are tied up and stuck in one spot. You can't go anywhere. Okay, that makes sense with what we're seeing with the Knight of Pentacles, with moving slowly, taking your damn time. Okay, but if you're, as we said, if you're spending all of your time thinking, it's going to keep you trapped. If you do not take action towards the thing you want, you are never going to get there. If you only think about it, you'll never get there. Think about all the great inventions that were created. If the people who invented them only just thought about them and never actually took action to make them realized in the real world, we would never have them. It is only through taking the thought and then putting the thought into action do we end up with anything worth doing, worth having. The thoughts must be used, or else they're just thoughts and they're wasted. What else do we need to hear? Indecision in the upright position and 7th chakra, crown chakra in the reverse position. Yeah. So for whoever this is meant for, pile number 3. Okay. Pile number 3. The reason you can't make a choice is because you refuse to listen to source. You're not listening to the guidance. There is guidance available to you from the divine, but because you are not listening to it, you're left going, what do? I don't know. Right? Look at this card. Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I take this road? Do I take that road? What do I do? That's what this card is saying. I don't know what to do. I am stuck and I don't know what to do. But you don't know what to do because you're not listening to source. You're not listening to the guidance that is being offered to you. Maybe you're getting synchronicities and you're not following up on them. Maybe you're getting ideas, again, with the thinking man. Maybe source is giving you ideas and then you're not taking action on them. If you get an idea for a song, a book, a job, an invention, and you never take action on the idea that you have, then you're not going to know what to do because you've left with this idea and then you just let it sit there until it rots or until somebody else does it. And even then, if somebody else does it, they're not going to do it the way that you do it. They're not going to bring the same energy that you bring. Clarify indecision and seventh chakra in reverse, please. Ace of Cups. All right. So this indecision has to do with love. Okay. Ace of Cups is a new love. It's having your cup of love filled. It's starting over. Aces are new beginnings. Aces are brand new starts. Right? So the Ace of Cups is about a new love. A new love. Just having your cup so full and overflowing that you just feel spectacular. So the problem that you're having is you don't know what choice to make because you're not trusting your inner knowing. You're not trusting source. You're not trusting that God, the divine, source, universe, goddess. I don't care what you name it. Pick a name. Whatever name feels the most right for you is whatever. It does not matter. The energy is the energy. The force. You could call it the force if you want to. Okay? The force is trying to show you what direction to take to get you to this new love. But you're not listening. And then you're going, I don't know what to do. Right? But it looks like what you want is love. So why aren't you acting towards love if that's what you truly want? Ace of Pentacles, there's another new beginning. Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Something happening in the physical world. The new start in the physical world. So taking this love with the new start in love and making it happen in the physical world. And right now, what you're telling me, pile number 3, with indecision and not trusting in source, is that you don't know how to make it happen. Well, duh. Because you're trying to use your rational thinking mind. Instead of trusting that when you let go and surrender to source and say, show me how, show me what to do, show me the next step to take, and then listen to it, that's how you can take what you want and make it happen. But in order to do that, you have to listen to the guidance. Okay, what else do we need to hear? Magician in the mirror in the reverse position, being out of balance. Energies being out of balance, still with all tied up in the bottom of the deck. Tell me about this energy out of balance, please. Okay, 8 of Cups in the upright position. You're out of balance because there's something that you're supposed to be emotionally walking away from and you're not. So 8 of Cups is walking away from emotions that no longer serve you. What are those emotions? I don't know. You do, though. There are things that you are holding on to that need to go. There are emotions that you are holding on to that need to go. And you can't create balance if you are still holding on to the things that are weighing you down. Cut them off. Think of a hot air balloon with all the sandbags tied to them. If there's too many sandbags and too much weight, it doesn't get off the ground. You have to cut the weight to soar, right? So 8 of Cups talks about leaving behind the emotional burdens that are not yours. Leaving behind the emotions that can't come with you. If what you want is this Ace of Cups, right? If what you want is this new love, if that's actually what you're looking for, you can't hold on to the disappointments of the past because you'll never get the new thing if you're still holding on to all the old things. And with Magician in the mirror in the reverse position, this balance. Now this card, if you are on, you might be on a twin flame journey because the Magician in the mirror is a twin flame card. It is about the balance between the masculine and the feminine, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Okay? Within the reverse position is saying this partnership is out of balance. And the clarification for what's up with the partnership out of balance is that you need to let go of the emotions of the past that no longer serve you. If what you want is your Ace of Cups, you cannot get your Ace of Cups if you are still holding on to your Eight of Cups. If you are still holding on to all of the things that are not part of the future that you want, you can't get the Ace of Cups. Okay, what else does our pile number 3 need to hear? Thank you. Okay, Healer of the Ages, strategy in the reverse position, and 5th chakra. Okay, all right, so the next piece of advice you've been given is that you need to start your healing journey. Healer of the Ages is all about healing. Okay, it's all about doing the spiritual work. And look at the mirroring of the postures. Look at this card. This man is standing here. He's an older man. And he's standing here with his arms out, creating balance. And here we have a younger man standing with his hands out in the exact same position. But here's the difference. This one, connection to the divine, and the heart space is open. See how wide open his heart is? The light is emanating from his heart space. That is emanating love, right? So Healer of the Ages talks about moving from your heart. Your healing happens through connection with your heart space, with your love. Are you embodying love? Because love will heal you. I'm not talking about lust, people. Lust is part of the lower chakras. Lust is part of the root chakra. And that's when lust is part of the sacral chakra, when the sacral chakra and the root chakra often are somewhat blocked. It is not connected to the heart space. It's connected to the lower chakras. Love comes from the heart chakra. Okay? Love comes from an inner space, not your genitals. Okay? It's not that lust can't be part of love, but by its very definition, lust and love are not the same thing. Love is moving from heart-centered. Okay? So we get the Healer of the Ages, moving from love. We get strategy in the reverse position, which always says surrender, which makes sense when we saw that you're not connecting with Source. You're not trusting Source. You're being asked to surrender to Source. You don't have to figure out how it's going to happen. You just have to open your heart. And then we get the throat chakra, communication with 5th chakra. So these 3 cards together tells me the advice it says is if you move from your heart space, if you heal your heart and surrender, the communication will come. Okay? The talking will come. That's throat chakra. Speaking your truth is the throat chakra. Speaking what is true and speaking from the heart. Speaking what is truly on your heart. Okay? So with Healer of the Ages upright, strategy in reverse position, and 5th chakra, this is saying, move from your heart, surrender trying to figure it all out, and communicate freely. Okay? Let's clarify this. Okay? 3 of Wands in the upright position, creating the path for yourself, blazing your own trail. 3 of Wands is about, to me, what I always see with the 3 of Wands is like going through the jungle with a machete and creating your own path, not following the path that was laid out, that everybody follows, but blazing your own trail, walking through the jungle with your machete and creating a brand new path that no one else has forged before. 3 of Wands is about taking action on what you want, because the 2 of Wands is about dreaming about what you want. The 3 of Wands is going for it, taking action towards the thing that you want, working towards getting the thing you want. If we follow the progression, 2 of Wands is the dreaming of it, 3 of Wands is making it happen, 4 of Wands is partnership. So if we're following this and we saw that what you wanted was the Ace of Cups, what you wanted was new love, right? In order to do that, you're going to have to break away from doing what you used to do. You're going to have to create a new path. You're going to have to walk the authentic path for you. There's 2 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Not seeing what is possible. being so bogged down in stuff that you can't see what's actually possible for you. You're not letting yourself dream of what you could have because you're focused on what you think you can't have. Okay? What else? Yeah. As long as you are in this space of thinking, let go of lack. Okay? So 10 of Cups in the bottom of the deck, or 10 of Cups in the reverse position, says unhappy. Because the 10 of Cups is happily ever after. Having all of your emotional cups filled, feeling so fulfilled and so full of love that everything just feels fantastic. But it's in the reverse position, which tells me that right now that's your focus. And that's with the bottom of the deck, 5 of Pentacles in reverse position. It's saying let go of the disappointment, let go of the lack. You're focused on what you don't have. And if you're focused on what you don't have, focused on the lack, you're not going to get the thing that you want. Okay, final messages. Final messages for pile number 3, please. Okay, envy in the reverse position and the world in the reverse position with man holding a coin upright on the bottom of the deck. So let go of wanting something that you don't have. Okay, envy is looking at what somebody else has and saying, I want what they have. And you're being asked to let go of focusing on what other people have and saying, I want what they have, because it's what's keeping you small. The world in reverse is keeping yourself small. As long as you are focused on what someone else has, thinking about what they have and I want what they have and they have more than I have and I want coveting is what they say in the Bible, coveting things. As long as you are focused on coveting what other people have, it keeps you small. It keeps you trapped. Clarify, please. Yeah. It keeps you small and keeps you trapped. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse position. It keeps things from growing. Nothing will manifest for you in the physical world as long as you are focused on what other people have. What else, please? Yeah. And the things that you are focused on is stuck in your ego mind. Knight of Swords is stuck in ego thinking, fast-moving thoughts, but impulsive thoughts. Not necessarily thinking things through. The ego mind is Knight of Swords, where it's racing thoughts and giving voice to the ego mind. Okay, so where you're keeping yourself small and you're keeping yourself stuck in envy is because you're listening to your ego mind. Okay? Yeah, as long as you listen to your ego mind, you're going to be in defeat because you're not putting in any work. 8 of Pentacles in a reverse position. You're not putting in the work. Okay, so put in the work. On the bottom of the deck is the Sun. Okay? And the bottom of this deck is man holding a coin in the upright position. So if you're focused on what's going to happen in the 3D world, then you're going to have some trouble. The Sun, though, is a thing at the bottom of the deck saying, if you change this, okay, if you let go of focusing on what everybody else has, so you can blaze your own trail and not worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about what Peter's doing to Paul. Okay? Focus on what you're doing and where you're going and what you want, and you will find victory in that with the Sun. You will find your ultimate happiness. But in order to do that, you have to stop listening to your ego mind. You have to stop listening. We saw that before with the thinking man. You have to get out of your head. Get out of your head and into your heart. That's how you're going to move beyond this. That's how you let go of the emotional burdens. That's how you let go of the mental baggage. That's how you let go of all these things. Get out of your freaking head and get into your heart space. Allow yourself to begin to heal. Do the work to heal. Do the work to let go of the 8 of Cups, the emotional baggage that you've been carrying, the emotional pains that no longer serve where you're going. Walk away from them. Because that is what will bring you the Sun. Okay, pile number 3? And remember, we began with the monkey. And the monkey was all about using your voice to help others, using your sonics to create harmonious vibration. It talked about unconditional love. It talked about community and connection. But when we play these cards out, I don't see any of that in here. And I think that's the guidance, is in order to get that, you've got some work to do. So pile number 3, I hope that this helped you. Okay, I hope that this gave you some insight as to what is going on and how to move forward with what's going on. So if you need some help with this, I have a podcast. It's called Get In, We're Going Healing. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere you get your podcasts. Okay, I've been down this road. I'm still working on it. The journey is not over. Okay, the journey is really never over, but I have progressed pretty far down this journey, and I share what I've learned as I go. So you might be at the beginning, and you might need to go back to season 1. We are currently on season 4. You might need to go back to season 1 and pay attention to what happens in season 1. But this is your journey. This is your path. Okay? Don't let yourself be stuck in these places that you don't want to be stuck. You've always got the ability to get yourself out. Okay? This is within your power to do. All right? So until next time. Oh, if you are looking for a personal reading, my email will be in the description. I can do a personal reading for your individual circumstances so we can look a little closer into what's going on for you. If you enjoyed this reading, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It helps it to be seen by more people that might need to have this guidance and advice. And it also helps to engage. I enjoy engagement. Leave a comment if this really resonated with you and you want to talk about it. You don't have to. But I do enjoy being able to communicate with people that share with me so I know what's going on and I know how I'm helping. Okay? If you feel so called and you want to give a tip or donation, that information is in the description box as well. I also have an Instagram. You can follow that where I share inspiring content regularly just to help you along your path. Okay? I hope that this was able to give you some insight. So until next time, keep letting go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. Love and light.